Hey crafters, welcome in. All right, so it looks like we are live. So, hey crafters, welcome in. My name is John. Hey Katrina, welcome. Thanks for joining. Hey Russ, good to see you again. Karen, nice to see you from Wisconsin. I bet bet your weather. I think it's cold here because we're in the low 60s. I have a feeling you don't think that's cold. So today is just about a Sunday roundup. I had planned to do some sewing and chatting, but we actually have a commitment an hour from now. So I thought we'd jump in and talk about just some of the things that's been going on this week and what's been happening. It's been a good week as far as getting a lot of projects done. Spent some time. I am working on a June Taylor tote bag, and I don't know why I'm just hung up on getting some tote bags done, especially for spring and that. I think because we're going back to the East Coast for Easter, and I want to be able to take the some of the family small gifts and that. That said, I found this June Taylor that I had bought a while back. Actually, cut a lot of the jelly rolls up for this, and I think it's going to make a really pretty quilt. Really pretty tote bag once it's all said and done. So that's something I just need to um, get moving on. Today was a fun day because I had men's sew day with Stephen, the idiot quilter, with Walter and a bunch of guys. Russ was there, and it was nice just to get some different perspectives in that on quilting and things happening. And to me, the one of the most fun things is just getting to see everyone's um, projects. What they're working on, what they've got in their carts, and that kind of stuff. I think is really cool. So Katrina needs to be safe. She's under a tornado warning, but has blue skies. So we'll keep a watch out for you, Katrina. Stay safe. BBMK is here. Hey, good afternoon. It is only 3 o'clock Arizona time, so it doing the conversion times really messes with my head sometimes. Hey, Beverly, thanks for dropping in. So, yes, Russ said they didn't teach me how to sew and chat at the same time. It was interesting. I did get a lot of sewing done. I'll show you a quilt top that I am about two-thirds of the way done. Really excited the way that's turning out. It ended up probably being my own pattern from memory. It's a pattern that I found on YouTube that I thought was really so cool, and then now I can't find the pattern again. So I ended up doing what I thought I remembered was the pattern, and we'll see how that works. But I was really happy overall how that turned out. So yes, and it was interesting when you're working with Steven and that group. He has folks from all over the world. So there were some in from the UK today, some from Atlanta, some from Canada. So it's always interesting to see what folks drop in there. It's interesting where we live in this retirement community. We have a lot of snowbirds. So this time of year is absolutely crazy. So for us locals that live here year round, we just try to survive from the holidays up until about the end of March. And then they all start going home because for some reason, none of them like to be here when it's 100, 115, but it is what it is. But with that said, it's very interesting to see the machines, the projects, the things that a lot of the folks here are working on, and where they've learned some of their skills, and whether or not it's been from mothers, grandmothers, all of that kind of stuff, or you know, I don't know, my mind just went completely blank. But it's always interesting to see the projects and that. Hey, Vera from Texas, welcome in. So yes, see, Katrina knows about snowbirds. It's just it's so different. We go to the grocery store here in the summer. You're in and out. There's parking. It's just very pleasant experience. But for about 5 months out of the year, we get to deal with grandchildren and a lot of other things that come in to the community. But it is what it is. I'm hoping soon that my grandkids will be able to come out for a visit. So um, we will be able to take them around and show them all the fun things about living out here. But with that said, let me show you the project. So many of you know I moved here from Virginia, and as such, at one point, actually taught in the School of Business at Virginia Tech. So I ended up becoming a honorary Hokie. Did not graduate from Virginia Tech, but I love a lot of things about Virginia Tech. And unfortunately, we lived there, and I worked at Virginia Tech when we had that massacre many years ago. And so it puts a whole different spin on your life when you're in a small community like Blacksburg, Virginia. You're working with folks like that. And I actually had two students that were impacted directly by that tragedy. So, with that said, I ended up becoming a Hokie. Never thought I would like maroon and orange as school colors. And basically, a Hokie bird that's a big fancy turkey that walks around, and never thought I would go to a football game at a school where they eat the mascot. So, one of the things that Virginia Tech does at home football games is line up. So, back in the day, we could get a $5 grilled turkey leg, and we all lined up to get our turkey legs. It was just crazy. So, with that said, I had found this pattern online, really liked it. I knew it would be fairly simple to do, but also give me such a good look at the end of the day. And so I still have some sewing to do, but I'm really liking how this is turning out, how that maroon and orange is coming together. I feel pretty confident about getting the points together because I've not been able to, I've always struggled with that. So I found this pattern online and actually plan to do one. Let me grab something over here. Plan to do one for my niece as well, and hers is going to be the University of Louisville. But what's left with that one is to trim it all out in maroon. So I'm going to put a 1 inch border all the way around it. So that'll straighten it back up, make it look pretty cool. And then I have the coordinating fabric that goes with the Hokie bird. And that will end up being a 2 inch border. So when it's all said and done, I have the strips cut to do the 1 inch border. And then I have this coordinating fabric that I think is going to be really cool to do a 2 inch border all the way around it. And then eventually it gets on Gracie back there and becomes a real quilt. Unfortunately, I have a feeling it's going to become part of the collection on Gracie until we get a little bit more confidence and think about how we want to do that. But I said that because I did find the University of Louisville fabric to do one for my niece, and I was really happy with the way that turned out. You actually take the black coordinating fabric, so the black matches out. And so, hey, oh,
Hi.
we're over here.
Oh, you're over
Not there, but here.
Oh,
So you have come behind me if you want to say hi to everyone.
hi. I'm just getting ready to get a shower because we're going to a friend's house for some cheese and wine. So that's always fun.
So always lots of activities going on around here. Um, So what's cool is, so you basically just so I cut these with the Quilt. You cut 10.5-inch squares. You drop these right sides together. You just zip around all four straights, right? And then cut it on the diagonal, fold, press them open, and then go back and start sewing your squares together. So I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. I think it looks like I've done a lot more work than I actually have, but at the same time, there's still quite a bit of work there. So I think, but it's just really cool to see how all of this is lining up. So yes, can you tell that Curtis is camera shy? So he does not. He moderated the first live for us today. He goes, "You can figure. You've got this figured out. You go do it." And is what it is. So anyway, so that's one project that I am getting closer to having completed. What else am I working on? I did get all of this cut, and I mean, it takes forever to get fabric cut, right? I thought buying the AccuQuilt would make it so much easier and that I could just zip things through, and yet it still seems like it's a lot of time in the room cutting. Seems like instead of sewing and quilting, no wonder it takes forever to learn a 1/4 inch seam allowance because I spend a lot of time either cutting fabric or ironing fabric. And I never thought I would iron tons of fabric. So, but it is what it is. All right. Um, so you all may know I kind of have a shopping problem at times, and it really isn't my fault. I had to go to the to one of our local stores yesterday just to drop in. Needed to just pick up something really quickly, and they had all their fall, Halloween, Christmas fabric 40% off because they're just trying to get it all out of the store because they've got new stuff coming in. So you might be surprised that I bought fabric yesterday. But when you're talking about picking up fabric for like $5 and $6 a yard, I mean, how do you not? I mean, how do you just not buy fabric? So, I'm a big Halloween fan, anyways. I picked that up. I picked this up with the moon and stars in the orange. It was with the Halloween fabric, but that could actually go with some other things. But then they had it reversed with the black and the orange. And I thought that was just too cool. So I had to grab us. Yes. Curtis's northern comes out, right? So see, I say wine. We're gonna go have some wine with some friends. But yes, and sometimes we do wine after we've had a few glasses of wine. I found this though yesterday in the bin, and it is a Christmas fabric, and there was just something about this that really jumped out. Curtis didn't like it in the least, but I really liked this fabric, and I think if anything, it would make a really cute tote bag, even maybe pillowcases or something. So I did grab that. I also picked up this fabric with gingerbread and candy canes and cookies, and it's just also Christmassy. I will be honest, I'm not really in the mood to start stitching a lot of Christmas stuff yet. Like the U of L quilt will end up, it's for a Christmas gift. That's why I'm trying to start early this year, but we'll see. And then this one with the puppies and the gingerbread houses. I mean, you can never go wrong with having dog prints, right? And then they had the snowflake. And see, BB, I agree with you. You can never, fabric just doesn't go bad, even though we have now 3 bookshelves full. And I fold all the fabric on these 8.5 by 11 50-point boards. And I really like the way it folds. They stack up so nice on the shelves and that. So what I know for a fact is we have over 200 pieces of fabric because I had to order another 100 boards today. But it is what it is. The boards are only $28. I found this fall fabric, and you talk about for a companion piece. I mean, this piece was just perfect to grab and just become part of the collection. I did grab this. It's not my favorite with pumpkins and that, but I thought it was it was different. I'm not sure the blackbirds and all that is what I'm looking for, but I thought that was cool. And then I got this, God, lighting is awful. This is green, and it is more of a Christmassy lime green, but it's made like with glitter. So it's called Starlight Metallics. And they actually had it in this green and they had it in this red. So I grabbed some of that. It actually feels really thick and almost vinyl-y. I think what we may end up doing is I may end up piecing some of that together, the red and the green, and making outdoor pillows out of those for our screened in porch. So we'll see. But and a lot of people, Maureen, aren't Halloween fans. It's so funny. I have so many ladies in the quilt club. I've got a couple that are really into Halloween, but I've got probably more friends that are not as much into Halloween. I like the orange and black, and I like the fun spirit around Halloween. So, um, I like Casper the Friendly Ghost and those type of things. I'm not into the Friday the 13th and Michael Myers got owed to me years ago. I'm not into the hatchet and slasher and all that type. To me, that's not Halloween. I like the fun side of Halloween plus the free candy. So, so that was a big haul. I ended up getting 9 different fabrics yesterday, and just when you're paying $5 a yard, $4 a yard, it's like you can't. Yeah, just almost like it jumped in. Of course, they laughed as soon as I came in because I do know everyone that works there. I've gotten to know all of them pretty well, and they knew when I saw the sale price that they were going to get rid of some inventory. So it is what it is. All right, see what else. I had a list today so I could try to keep up with what's going on because I call it a Sunday roundup and then forget what's going on, right? You are right, Vera. It is not going down in price. I have to say, we have only been doing this a year and a half. And when we started, I was shocked that fabric was like 8.95, and I think some of it was 10.95 a yard. Um, and I just thought that was crazy. And worse was thread. I swear when my mother sewed, of course, it was 50 years ago, I think she used to pay 10 cents or 25 cents for a spool of thread. Had no idea how much thread cost, and I had no idea um, how many varieties of thread are out there. But with that said, 8.95, 10.95 a yard for fabric, and I was like, man, yeah. The first quilts I made out of panels. No, I made 3-yard quilts. I made 2 Halloween 3-yard quilts for my grandkids back in Virginia. And I remember I told my daughter, please make sure the kids use these, let the kids use them, abuse them, whatever. And she wanted to know if she would be able to wash them and how the quilts would hold up. And I told her, believe me, because I quilted those at the time on my free motion on my machine. I told her there was so much thread in between all that batting and fabric, she would never have to worry about any piece of that unraveling. That it just was crazy. But I remember figuring out that I was paying it cost me like 50, $60 to make those quilts, even though it was just 3 yards. By the time I did the batting and you do the binding and you do all this other, not even counting the labor, I was like, no wonder people don't quilt and do like they used to anymore. I mean, it was just crazy. So I do agree. My thread does seem to last a while unless I am embroidering and got a big project going. And I don't blame you for buying the pre-cuts. I just did a video the other day, and I was showing that I'd gotten a new kit in the Easter banner, Happy Easter from Stitch in Heaven, and I didn't like some of the choices that they put in there as far as fabric, but what I really, liked, was the, pattern itself and how big the banner and the Hello Easter and all that's going to turn out. So, part of it is um you get the, patterns in that, and so you can do more of those if you want to later. Then somebody goes, "Oh, yeah, I love Stitch in Heaven because they have so many, great kits and they have so many nice pre-cuts." So guess who ended up going in and buying another kit with a bunch of pre-cuts? Because I had bought some from Jordan Fabrics, and I like Jordan Fabrics. The first pre-cut I bought from them did not go very well, so I just haven't been back. I am anxious to see how the this pre-cut will go with Stitch in Heaven that I just bought. And I will have to agree with Maureen. I have to stay away from Missouri Star Quilt. The other day, Missouri Star Quilt sent something and it popped up in my news feed. I ended up buying it. I ended up spending the 50, $60 because if you're going to spend $10 for shipping, you might as well spend the 30 or 20, whatever it is, and get all items and get free shipping. And then, like the very next day, they had this huge clearance sale, and I ended up spending like $150. And the only good thing about that is I had purposely saved mad money because we were going to the local quilt show out of our state fairgrounds, and we ended up not going because of COVID's going around. We had the flu, we were sick, and we just knew we didn't need to be around people, nor did we need to be carrying things there or back. So because of it, we didn't go. So I didn't feel so bad with Missouri Star Quilt because I did have money kind of set aside that I was going to spend there, and I didn't go. So I did have that, but oh my gosh, I have got to stay away from Missouri Star. It's like they have such amazing sales sometimes. And what I have learned is, like, the other day they had a jelly roll that I really liked, and it was like $20 and it's normally like 48 or something. It was more than 50% off. But the problem is you can't bundle it because you got to buy it that day, and or you got to pay the $8 whatever it is shipping. And to me it's not a real savings if I've got to pay shipping. And I get um that they all have to pay, they all have overhead. I get that, but um, I'm just not willing to contribute. Uh, it just helps me, I guess, have a little self control, even though I don't say I have a lot of. Oh, I didn't realize you could bundle and still get the discounted price. So I may end up trying that. I don't know, Katrina, if you're helping me or not, because uh, just been so bad lately, but it's okay. I what I like to say is I am developing projects for when I um, retire, right? So if I don't get them all done now, 10 years from now when I retire, I'll already have all those and I won't have to keep buying and going out there. But it is what it is. Um, what else? And I will say, yes, I did have a delay, a really bad delay with a order from Missouri Star Quilt. I ordered something and it was like 3 weeks before they shipped it. It was their big sale, I think, back in October, November. So I did get frustrated with them. I've got friends here in the Quilt Guild that just buy from Missouri Star all the time and they get theirs like in 3 days. So it must have been an anomaly for me because ever since then, I get mine usually within a week. If I place an order, typically within 2 days, 48 hours, that I get the receipt that it's shipped. So that's made me go back there more. Yeah, I guess we all find the ones that we're comfortable with. I love Open Gate down in Texas. I buy some from Shiplap. I buy some from Missouri Star, and you just can't beat the Fat Quarter Shop. They just give us so much when it comes to patterns and those type of things. Um, I don't know, but yeah, and So back to fabric, right? So fabric was 8.95, 10.95 a yard, and that was less than 2 years ago. We've only been doing this a year and a half, and that's why, when I talk about that Virginia Tech quilt, that means a lot to me because I'm still learning that quarter-inch seam allowance, and I'm still learning to match those points up and to make the squares all fit, once it happens and that type of stuff. So, but then this year, I noticed when I started going into the quilt shops, it had jumped to 12.95, and some of the fabrics I picked up were like 14.95, and I'm like, I'm not paying $15 a yard for fabric, and even at 50% off, you're talking 750 um, a yard or $8. I, I just I can't afford that. That's not. I do want to retire. I do want to do other things. I am so enjoying quilting and learning these things, but I can tell you, I'm not paying that kind of money. Maureen says it does become addictive. I kept a running list of what was buying and realized I had spent way too much money. I've had packages travel the country for over a month. Yes, I will completely agree. It is a disease. It is very addictive. Worse is, I don't know if you all realize or not, Curtis does not craft. Curtis does not like sewing. He doesn't like the labor side of it. I'm still trying to convince him he could cut fabric with the AccuQuilt and do things like that. That would really help me out. But he has an amazing eye. So when it comes, if I show him a project I want to work on, he's really great about pulling the fabrics together, saying this goes with this and all that. But if you want to see a madman, take him into a quilt show and he's throwing stuff in the basket as fast as I'm throwing it in the basket. It's like, dude, you don't even know how much we already have at home. So, yes, he definitely has that fever when we go into some of the big shows and that. I was really actually happy yesterday that he wasn't there to see the 40% off because I am sure I left fabric there that he would have just had to have, and that's okay. We managed to get done what we needed to get done. Um, what else did I want to talk about today? Oh, the last thing is thread, right? I have learned so much about thread in the last year. I have started with every brand. I have drawers full of thread now. And after being that person that said, yep, not doing that, not doing that, not doing that, I have figured out that I either stitch with Isacord or I stitch with Glide. And I will say I really, really like my Glide thread. Um, I know a lot of quilters like Isacord because it's cotton. I still haven't been convinced that I need to that I have to use cotton thread when I'm piecing cotton fabrics, but we'll see. I really do like my glide thread. It runs in all my machines so well, and the Isacord does too. I've used Wonderfill. I've used some other brands. Um, Nothing just fits in my machine um, like those two do. Russ says you missed the thread convert conversation at Men's Sew Day. There was a huge conversation early this morning. Yeah, so it was interesting. I had planned to join Men's Sew Day a little bit earlier, but keep in mind they started at 8 o'clock Canadian Eastern Time, and John's on Arizona time. We're the only state in the United States that never changes time, which you would think that would make life so much easier, but it doesn't because half the year the East Coast is either 2 hours ahead of me or 3 hours ahead of me. So it's just crazy. So I had planned to join a little bit earlier, but yeah, thread, and I have learned, especially like in our quilt guild, man, you don't want to mention thread around some of these women because I mean they fall on the sword for their brand of thread, and most of them around here use Isacord. It's probably the most popular. Vera says, I've unsubscribed from the email list. I was spending way too much and she is retired. Look at that. See, I understand. I have to say, I have done better this year because over Christmas, I did go in and start canceling a bunch of boxes because we were getting the monthly subscription boxes, and I just realized it was getting just way out of hand. So the one that I just got from Stitch in Heaven is the first box actually like that I've received in 2024. So I feel better, and I really like that. And I like getting a monthly subscription box, but um, number one, they're expensive, and it just really surprises me. But Katrina says she buys the big cones of Omni white for piercing. My husky loves it. I don't do a lot of changing of colors. Guterman is my second. I have used some of the, I say Guterman. I'm not sure if it's Gutterman or Guterman, but I have used some of that thread. I don't mind that thread. It's not my go to, but um, I do like that. I have learned now. I keep a white. I keep white and black. Excuse me. I keep white and black as my two go-to colors, and then I keep a tan, beigey thread if I need to, or a gray, and those are probably the four colors I use for piecing now. I know when I first started, I bought multiple colors, so I have literally two rainbow drawers full of thread in just about any color in that you can think of. So, guys, I really appreciate you jumping in. Katrina says or BB says I use Omni too, even for the quilting. I'll have to look at Omni. I don't think I have Omni. I know I have Guterman. I know I have some called King something, um, but I don't think I have any Omni. I'm positive I don't have Omni. So I will take a look at that. So, with that said, guys, I appreciate you dropping in. Reminder, if you are local or around Arizona, we do have the Sun City West Quilt Show coming up. That is the end of the month. That is going to be on the 24th and 25th. It's $5 to get in. They have a boutique. They have all kinds of stuff. It is really just a cool event. We only do it every other year. I did not enter this year. This would have been the first year I would have been able to enter. I don't think my skill set's where it needs to be for me to want to put something out there to be judged. But I will hopefully get to enter in 2 years because this is a biannual show. One of the things that intimidates me a little bit is because we have women in the Quilt Guild that have quilted for 35, 40 years. But if they've never entered a quilt show, they can enter in the novice category. And it's just hard when you're a real novice knowing that you're going to be judged against someone that's been doing this for 30 years. It just doesn't feel right to me. So it just wasn't encouraging for me to get there. BB says, I haven't been to 35th and El Mirage in a while, but the large one at Northern sales on me. I'll have to go to 35th is where I actually bought all this fabric yesterday. That's where I went. I know the store manager down there. I know all the ladies. They just treat me so well. I know one of the quilt shops. I went in with a stack of fabric to check out, and the cashier goes, "Oh, you don't?" And she goes, "Do you have a discount card?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." And she goes, "Well, you don't look like a quilter." And I said, "Well, funny, I didn't think you looked like a cashier, but here we are." And so I really like that local quilt shop, the 35th one for us. It just really is kind of cool. So, all right. So, with that said, we are going to jump off because I do need to go change clothes because I got to look presentable for friends. And yes, we're going to jump in the golf cart because we live in a golf cart community. And that's one of the cool things about living out here um, in the retirement age. But I do appreciate you dropping in. Please let your friends and that know that we are trying to go live. We are trying to stay and hold this time on Sunday. I will be posting, doing better about posting upcoming lives and that. But, thanks for all the subscribers and that. It really has meant a lot to us. We've been really surprised at how quickly some of our channel has grown in that. But with that, I appreciate each and every one of you dropping in today. And until next time, happy crafting.